Hello everyone, here's our much awaited instructional video for the acrylic varnish. Okay, so first of all, what you're going to need is your acrylic painting, whether it's a pour or something else. Some plastic wrap, varnish of your choice, whether it be matte, satin, or gloss, distilled water, a really good foam paintbrush. This one, as you can see, I've used it already. I'm putting the second coat on this, so it's got a nice point. The bubbles in the foam are really, really tiny, so that actually just helps to make it a little bit smoother. And I've got my isolation coat, which is what we're going to be using today, which is 1 part varnish, which is about a tablespoon, to 3 parts distilled water. You can add a little bit more water if you want to, but the more water you add, the more coats you're going to have to apply. Now, the secret to this is actually applying a lot of coats with the added water in the varnish. It actually helps it to self-level better. So the first few times you put it on, there still might be a few lines in it, but after you gradually keep adding more and more, it's going to level even more into some of the uneven grooves, and you're going to end up with a really high gloss or high depth, if you don't use gloss, finish. Now, for some of my larger paintings, some people have thought that they were coated with resin when they're actually coated with 20 or more coats of this isolation coat. I choose to do only isolation coats. Some people just do them for their first coat and then go ahead and apply the varnish straight out of the container. I don't like doing that because depending on the humidity or, you know, your brush, maybe your varnish dries on it, you could end up with a cloudy finish, and I just don't want that to happen. I've done that on a painting in the past and I wasn't really too happy with it because there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, so first of all, you're going to take 1 tablespoon of this and apply 3 tablespoons or mix 3 tablespoons of water in a little container. I use a disposable container, and then what I do between coats is I just cover it with plastic, and same with my brush. I just wrap my brush in plastic instead of washing it every single time. And basically this is the amount that I'll use, maybe not quite this amount, to do this size, which is a 10 by 10. With the leftover, I mark a bottle. I just put it in here, and the next time I don't have to mix any up. I just have to pour some into the container and I'm ready to go. So, application. First of all, you're going to dip your brush in to about the level where the lines are. This brush actually came from Home Depot. You're going to find they're a little bit more expensive, but just trust me on this one. I've used some really cheap brushes. I won't say where I bought them, but they are so streaky. There's like all sorts of bubbles that are uneven and large, and they really don't make for a good application. So it's worth it to get good brushes. And I mean, you can use these over and over and over again as long as you cover them and keep them wet between applications and wash them really, really well when you're done. Okay, so first, let's show you how to do this. We're going to start off at the top or bottom of your painting, and you're going to go back and forth all the way across. And then you're going to take 1 light stroke without even applying any pressure all the way across. Lift your brush, stop. Dip it again. And then you're going to go down just touching that one, the first line that you applied, and do the same thing, back and forth motion. And then the trick to this is to go between the 2 lines of application you just did. Do 1 smooth line, and then go over the one that you just applied. Then we're going to do the same thing down here. Apply another line, go between them, go along that last line, and just keep doing this until you reach the end of your painting. As you can see, there are some lines and that's totally fine. They're gonna fill in when this levels, coat after coat. You'll see the difference. And the thing is, you probably will really notice after about 5 or 6 coats. Don't worry about it, you haven't done anything wrong. Just don't go back over it again. Just do the lines of application, run your brush across it, and leave it alone. Okay, it will self-level a bit, but after a while, it'll work. Okay, so another thing that's really important is to get your corners. And then I just lightly run the brush along the sides, and there's more than enough on the paintbrush to apply what you need. Okay, now that's it. You just let it sit for an hour or two to dry. Like I said, depending on the humidity, you can leave it for longer. You can come back. If you got a little spot to put it in, you can come back the next day and just keep doing it. I'm in here all the time, so generally every hour I'm doing it. So here I am wrapping up my brush so it doesn't dry out. And I'm covering my varnish. And a good way to make sure that your varnish doesn't dry out or get any crunchies is to push the plastic right down to the surface and then seal it around the edges. So I hope this helps. Good luck with your varnishing. I'd love to see them posted on my webpage. Have a great day.